Right now?
Yeah.
Hello there. Welcome to Alberto's La Bella Cuccina. Here we are now, December. Could you imagine how fast time goes by? Here we are. I have a great announcement to make. Alberto's is getting ready for a chef, Doug Alstrom. Doug Alstrom will be performing all by himself a dinner party in Alberto's restaurant. What a surprise! You will be surprised because it's a great meal. You will get a soup, a wonderful roasted heirloom pumpkin bisque, and the next one will be a crab cake with red peppers and a vinaigrette sauce, and the next one will be a roast beef tenderloin with fried tomatoes ragu and a fried polenta. It'll be amazing, and of course, all of this will come with wine included in it. How do you like that? It'll be a wonderful treat for you for Christmas. And then still don't remember, this is RSVP. You must reserve now. Things are coming up very fast. People love to have the Chef Alstrom's food. They love it. So please remember to make a reservation at Alberto's Restaurante at Pacific Grove, area code 831-373-3993. And don't forget to make your reservations also for Alberto's Restaurante. If you want to treat yourself for an incredible meal, where else? Where else can you go to have a great meal and a great service but Alberto's Restaurante in Pacific Grove? Wishing you a Merry Christmas, and don't forget, so you still time to book your own parties. Book your girlfriend's parties, your wife's parties, your office parties. All of that, we're ready for you at Alberto's Restaurante. We have a pleasure. Today, we have a pleasure to have a great guest. That is our very first time to meet our friend from Mexico City that has been here for very many years, and now he is in charge of a very good company. His name is Frank Pacheco. Please welcome him. Senor Pacheco.
Pleasure. To
There
be
we
here.
go.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Mr. Pacheco is here to tell us all about. He works for a company that does all kinds of machines, right? The credit card machines all over the region, right?
Credit card processing is correct.
Credit
Thank
card
you.
processing in there, indeed. But Mr. Pacheco came in from Mexico City. How long ago have you been here?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember. About 20 plus years.
20 plus years.
Yeah,
And in those
24,
years,
25.
what did you plan to, when you came out here, did you find this country awesome? Did you find it that it was a good opportunity for you, which I understand that you are a successful man nowadays, and you're a regional manager of this processing company. How did you get there? And before that, what did you actually do? Did you go into the restaurant business?
I did. Actually, I had a very good deal of experience coming from Mexico City, as you already know. The
Right, Mexico
business-
City, Mexico City.
Yeah, the family there still has a catering and banquet business where I pretty much grew into.
Right.
I grew up on that business from, as far as I can remember, being underneath the tables where they were preparing the dishes and
There we
meals.
go, there we go.
So it was pretty much within a family business. And from there, I immigrated over here looking for better opportunities for what I wanted to do. But I couldn't resist the temptation. I ended up opening a restaurant.
You opened a restaurant business.
Yeah,
You went
I
into-
did.
You had it in your blood.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because even though my major has nothing to do with food, I knew so much about it, and I had so much experience, hands-on with the restaurant business, that I decided that would be a good idea, to
That'll
open
be your
one. Yeah.
goal at that time.
Yes, that was
And
right.
you opened a restaurant. How long ago?
It's been about 16 years. that I
16
opened-
years.
Yeah.
And then you decided to sell it and get to your career, to your goals, and so on.
Absolutely,
And you
yeah.
found that restaurant amazing and interesting and very hardworking. To be in the restaurant business is a lot of work, a lot of hours, and your family never sees you. So you decided to go into another business so you can have your family and all of that time for your dear people.
That's right. That's right. Restaurant business is definitely what some of my friends and customers used to say is very jealous. In a way that the restaurant really needs you to be there, needs you to be there most of the time. And I had a couple of experiences. You probably can relate to this. When I was going out for shopping, for the restaurant, and some friends came by and didn't see me there. And they said, "Oh, when we went to your place, but you weren't there, so we decided to go somewhere else."
Oh boy.
So the thing is though, people really relate you with your business. So
Yeah,
your business
sure.
and yourself became one entity. So they cannot be separated after, like in your case, you have a very successful operation. I'm sure that people always look for you and
Yeah,
look
that's
to
what
see
they
you
want to
there.
see. They want to see you. They want
Yeah.
to see who's.
Yeah.
Basically, Alberto said, "So, where's Alberto?
I know.
Alberto's not there." Oh my God! No, I'm always there. I'm always there trying to please my public. Since I've been a chef for I don't know last 35, 40 years, so since I was a young man, so
You're
I'm
still a
very
young man.
proud of it. I feel that. I
Yeah.
feel that. So
Young and
and
hard, right?
yeah, young at heart and young. I'm still there. So after that, what kind of restaurant you had? Pardon me.
When I first opened a place, it was on Canary Row. It was Mexican food.
Canary Row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Was it a difficult deal to go into a Canary Row area?
the rent was a little expensive. I think it's still expensive.
still very
there.
expensive to
Yeah,
go
because
into.
of the area, and I think my operation was good. Only that when we opened, without knowing, of course, it was very close to the September 11 terrorist
Oh,
attacks.
that's whatever happened to all of
Yeah,
us.
so we opened literally a month and a half prior to that. So Canary Row being a heavily touristy area, our business went down significantly.
70% of it because
Probably more, probably more.
people traveling, they were afraid to travel because of the planes,
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I remember.
so they wouldn't fly.
I remember the very next day when we were open. I guess we were the only place open in the whole 3 or 4 block area. Nobody else was
Wow.
open. Only we were the only place at the whole area open, and there was nobody. It was literally nobody. Maybe a couple of people that came by, workers from the area. So it was pretty devastating at that time.
At the time.
Luckily we have been able as a country to evolve on that, and we're in a much better position now. But still, back then, for a new business, any new business, it was pretty devastating. Especially the business has to do with a tourist, which where I was located.
Which is Canary Row.
Yeah, it was heavily tourist. So
Yeah.
it's still is. But being new, being in a tourist area, when you have something like that happening, it can't help it. But it was pretty hard uphill road for me, being new and being in an economy that was had such a severe.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Shock. It was shocking in those days
Yeah.
to find out that, yes, we all suffer that and still suffering the
Yeah.
fact that we still have into
Yeah.
an enormous recession going on and people are not really ready to go out that much like they used to on the
Truly.
2005 and 6 and 10. They're
Yeah.
not anymore. They're not that much. So, yes, indeed, a lot of people are actually suffering for the lack of customers. But you do support our restaurants, and I know that you will support more, especially the restaurants in Pacific Grove. So, tell us more about your more adventures and how did you get into other. What did you you actually found a customer so you could sell your restaurant and continue to your dream.
That's
to
right.
Your, to
That's
your,
right.
Yeah,
That's
to
right.
your goal.
That's right. Ultimately, my goal has been always to take care of my family, and I figure that by having a restaurant under those circumstances might not be the best way to reach them.
Correct,
So I decided to let go of the restaurant. I found a good buyer who was interested, and they acquire it, and I keep on moving
Keep it-
with my financial agenda. I used to work for banks. I used to be a manager for a major bank in the area, so I had a little bit of experience there.
Good.
And I utilized that to build up on current clients and new one into the financial arena here locally.
Right.
And I've been doing that ever since successfully.
Great.
Thanks to my clients.
Good. Yeah, they
Thanks to my
support
clients.
you.
Yeah, they do support me.
Yeah,
They
that's
do
good.
support me. That's very important.
And you have what? You have the vast area of.
I
business that
overlooked
you-
I overlooked San Francisco down to King City, so it's a nice
That's a
area.
big
Yeah,
territory.
a couple of big metropolitan areas, but good bulk of my business, about 60-70% of my business is located on the peninsula, the Great Peninsula. So Monterey, Salinas, Santa Cruz, Carmel, Pacific Grove mainly. All that area has been really good to me, and it's also good for my clients.
Right.
think about the fact that when you have a business and you need something, you need immediate attention.
Right, yeah.
Especially in the food related business. What I do has a little bit with technology and money at the same time, because everything that I do is electronic pulses. So
Right.
when you're processing at your restaurant and you're busy and your system is down, you rather have somebody that's local
Right.
that can take care of your issues immediately. Or,
Correct.
or an expedite matter, shall I say.
Yeah.
And, because of that, and alongside the fact that my services are superior and my price is very competitive, I think that those three elements combined have yielded a very good number of satisfied customers. So above all, my goal is to be able to serve my clients in the best possible way, and I think I'm working diligently every day to accomplish that.
To accomplish that, and now you still have time to have fun with your family and your kids and all that.
Well, thankfully, my business has grown to a position where now I don't have to be as much into it, and I can just, stay on a maintenance mood, and yes, it allows me a lot more freedom than before.
Yeah.
And definitely way more freedom than in the restaurant business. I love the restaurant business. I think there's a lot of things that you can learn as a restaurateur. You probably
Right.
relate to that as well, but it's very demanding.
Well, sure,
It's very
you have
demanding.
to be there 24/7.
Yeah, time wise, you have to be there. You have to, if you're not there cooking or making sure that all the tables are perfectly set up, you're out there, doing shopping or
Are you on the phone?
looking, or on the phone,
Waiting for those reservations.
or like
to come
here,
in.
just making
Well,
sure
thank
that
God, yeah.
yeah, the people know where you are, and that's part of what you do when you have a restaurant.
Correct.
And all those things are definitely keep you busy.
Yes, indeed.
To say the
I've been
least.
doing that for many, many years. I used to do that in Los Angeles and Malibu. And I used to travel, actually. I live in Beverly Hills. Used to travel 12 miles to Malibu every day. So it's about a half an hour. And I always enjoy that beautiful trip, to go through Pacific Coast Highway on that beautiful, beach and then reach
Nice.
Malibu.
Yeah.
Malibu. That was one of the very first restaurants actually opened, a restaurant in Malibu.
Really.
And then after that, many people followed me. But of course, there were major restaurants there like Sea Lion and other restaurants that were out in the ocean. But I was on the highway. I was on the poor side of the area at Malibu. But yeah, that restaurant was very successful, thank God, and it continued being successful. I don't know who's in there now, but I miss Malibu sometimes. Yeah,
Really.
Malibu, and I miss a lot of my friends. They're there.
Well, you've been doing a very nice career here in the peninsula, so people are
Yeah,
grateful.
well,
We're grateful to have you here, though.
I hope so. I've been trying to do my very best to please my customers here and the Pacific Grove area. I've been serving them for 13 years. I couldn't imagine that. And, I've been in this peninsula that long.
13 years.
13
Nice.
years.
Very
And
nice.
thanks to all of you that have helped me support my restaurant. And hopefully you support it more, especially in Christmas. So give us a call and make a reservation. Let's continue with Mr. Pacheco. Pardon me. With your experiences in Mexico City. Well, did you go to school where?
Out of all things, I studied chemical engineering
Okay.
on the largest university down there. So
Uh-huh.
it's called the UNA.
Is that-
Yeah,
The University of Mexico City?
yeah. yeah.
UCLA? Not UCLA.
It's,
UNA,
it's
right?
actually the it goes for UNAMA, University of Mexico.
University of
National Autonomous University of Mexico. Yeah.
Ah.
It's the largest high institution there, and I believe one of the
College.
largest. I believe one of the largest in Latin America as well. It was founded on the 1500s, so
Wow,
it has
1500.
a long tradition of higher education. Yes.
And many people that came out of there, from the
Yes.
University of
Yes.
Mexico.
As a matter of fact, my son makes fun of me. I was trying to. It's an interesting story. I was telling him he's a sixth grader, so we were talking about people who had gone to the university that I studied. My alma mater, and I tell him, there is the richest man in the world, Carlos Slim, studied what I studied, and then
Mexican guy is the number one
Yeah,
billionaire in the world.
yeah, he's yeah.
Number
He lives
one.
in Mexico City also,
And he was born in Mexico.
yeah, he was born there, and he's the richest man in the world right now. The wealthiest man that there is. And I told my son, he studied where I studied. We studied in the same university. And then my son says, like, well, that's fine. So what happened to you, Dad?
Well,
So
I didn't know where the money was hidden.
yeah. So I said, well, I have to work hard every day. But yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people, a lot of successful people. We also have another one who, Dr. Mario Molina, who is a Nobel Prize on Science,
Wow.
studied there too.
So you got a Nobel Prize
Yeah, a lot of bright people came from that place, though.
from that university.
Yeah, and some other not too bright. I'm here though, but
Well, but you're bright in your career now. You have the talent for it. This is what you love now. This is what you take care of.
I like to help people. That's for
Yeah?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what what the business, it pays you well, and then you get to know a lot about the people,
Pay the bills.
and it pays the
Pay
bills
the bills.
too.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to continue more and more, and talking about the University of Mexico. What were your experiences, and what was actually the best restaurants in Mexico? Right after this message.
Thank you.
Dishes like fettuccine alfredo and eggplant parmesan, and you have to come in and try the chicken marsala and the calamari con limone. I take great pride in everything I prepare, and I know you will love it. And what's dinner without a little wine? At Alberto's, we have a great selection of wines to go with your dinner.
Alberto's Restaurante in Pacific Grove.
Come and see us tonight. Salud! Salud!
How can you get a crispy restaurant tortilla bowl, but without frying it in oil, grease, and fat?
Just do what I do. Hi, Mark Gill here with the perfect tortilla pan. The fast, easy way to shape, bake, and create delicious tortilla bowls. Place any tortilla into the non-stick pan, pop it in the oven, and in just 5 minutes, perfect tortilla bowls that are always golden and crispy. Fill them with steak and peppers for a crunchy fajita bowl. Perfect Tortilla Pan's exclusive design works with all tortilla sizes, forming a deep-shaped edible bowl. Plus, it's all dishwasher safe. We'll send you not one, but two for just $10. Call right this minute and we'll double your order free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Every caller today will receive our cutting cup to slice, dice, chop, mince, and measure as it cuts. Yep, you get it all for just $10.
To order Perfect Tortilla for $10 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-292-0574 or order online at buyperfecttortilla.com.
Yeah.
Hello there. Thank you for coming back to Alberto's La Bella Cucina. Hopefully you have heard my message about Doug Ostrom, our chef of the month. He's going to have prepared a marvelous dinner for you guys. On Thursday, the 19th of December, he's going to have from soup to dessert. You will enjoy an incredible dinner. Please make your reservations at Alberto's Restaurante. The cost of that is going to be $65 per person, and you will enjoy your best. So treat yourself with a nice present from you and your wife and your dear ones at Alberto's El Restaurante, which will give you a great meal. So remember, 831-373-3993. And I am not going to cook your dinner this time. It's going to be a guest. My guest will be Doug Ostrom. He is one of the best chefs in the peninsula. So come and enjoy it. And give us a call today. Make your reservations. We only have a few tables available. So call us today. Thank you. Now we will continue with El Signore Pacheco, okay, from Mexico City. Signore Pacheco, what are your best restaurants that you enjoyed in Mexico? Like they have a lot of, like the other day I was looking at some guy that was in Cabo San Lucas. He was eating some fish tacos and things like that. And tremendous fresh fish in there, which you can see it there. I mean, Cabo San Lucas got the best fish in there.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? What are your best experiences, especially in Mexico? Where are your best restaurants there, besides the ones you tell us?
Wow, that's a tough question, though. See, the thing is, as you already know, you have traveled the world. Mexico City is blessed and gastronomically speaking, due to the fact that migration from different parts of the country.
Of the world, too.
And the world as well. Yeah, have yielded a very wide array of restaurants, ranging from, European but not to be redundant, but Mexican food in Mexico City is a different experience, and I'll tell you why. There are many different states in Mexico, just like we have here, 30 plus states, and also a flavor that has developed specifically for Mexico City. You have people that have immigrated over the years from each one of these states, and at one point or another, these people have opened restaurants. So when you're talking about Mexican food in Mexico City, you really need to figure out what part of the country you're looking for. It's a little bit like a Chinese food. You have different regions like the
everybody has their own.
the Mandarin,
Yeah.
all these
There's a
regions.
different style.
Yeah, all the regions are also predominant in the Mexican cuisine, and Mexican cuisine is I believe has been issued a title. What is that? Heritage of the Humanity by the UNESCO.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So they did that a few years ago, and so when you're looking about Mexican cuisine there, you first find out what state or what area you're looking for, and then you can go and look for a restaurant. And there are many great restaurants.
Great restaurant.
Mine, one of the ones that I remember fondly is one by the racetrack. It's called Maison de Caballo Bayo.
Oh boy.
They have a nice racetrack right there, and they have great meals. Great meals. Yeah, the food there is mainly from the center of the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my experience in Mexico City many times is that Mexico City not only has their own Mexican food, like Oaxaca and Veracruz and Mexico City in itself, but there's a lot of people that have immigrated there. They're German and they're Austrians. They're all kinds of Spaniards. They have been in there for centuries, and they have created an incredible amount of great foods and styles of food, like German foods and French foods. They have La Hacienda de los Morales, which I went there. I was a great pleasure to eat there, and that used to be the Palace of Cortes.
That's right.
In those days. But in that restaurant, they have whatever you want. You want French food, you can have. You want Italian food, you can have. Anything you want, those restaurants have it. And as I mentioned, many Italian people are there, many Spaniards are there, that they have their restaurants, and they are so incredibly successful, and they are very, very good. And even on the streets, you'll find great food, like tacos. And they're trying to do it here, and sometimes, I don't know, but not yet. You guys just don't have it yet to do the tacos like you find in Mexico City. And I know that because I've been there, I tried it, and many chefs here, they say, I'll do tacos, but no, not like Mexico. Now, there's something incredible there because it's right there. It's fresh and beautiful, and the sauces and ingredients are very fresh. And I know that Mexico City has an incredible restaurants because of all this melting pot in there, because there are so many, definitely a lot of Italian restaurants, and the hotels have incredible foods too.
Oh yeah.
I enjoy when I go to Cabo San Lucas. Is some great places you can have incredible tacos. The only thing I kind of Mexico City and Cabo San Lucas, wines. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I love wine, and you can't find a good wine that you can go with your fish, on the same, that's one of the things that I find difficult to have a 99.5% great meal in Mexico. I try, otherwise I bring my own, but it's hard to bring your own when you travel to Cabo San Lucas and another restaurant, and other places like that, because they don't have what you want. Again, I was in Cabo San Lucas a while ago, and there's a Costco there. Yeah. So I was able to find a Costco and trying to get a nice kind of better wine in there, which I did. And that make me happy to find out. And then you can bring that at the restaurant and enjoy that, and maybe have some nice tacos, some lobster, or some incredible food in there, delicious food, and and have a good time, and enjoy that beautiful weather up there in Cabo San Lucas, which will be soon. Hopefully, we'll visit there one of these days. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about you after you when you go on vacation. You go to Mexico City, or you go to where do you go? Or you stay here with your kids, or do you have any plans?
Different places. I love to stay. I have 3 kids though, so having a family that size sometimes gets travel a little complicated, especially for overseas trip. So, waiting for our youngest one to get a little older, and we can definitely going to travel the country. I mean, Mexico. I want him to go back and see, the roots and the traditional food, especially the food, and the culture. Both culture and food is very rich. And
Yeah.
is something that I definitely want my kids to enjoy and to learn. So yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
but
do that.
there's one thing that I want the public to know, that many times people think that Mexican food is only tacos. No, no.
Oh,
There's
wow,
there's
no.
veal, there is rabbit, there is fish, there's everything in there. Not just tacos. And this is why they do it here, in quesadillas and burritos. That's just not it. The Mexico City has incredible food. And French food and Italian food and German food and all kinds of good, great foods that you would be happy to find there. I'm amazed that a lot of people think they're just tacos found in Mexico. And it's like saying in Italy, that's all you find, it's pizza. No, there's other things. There's fish, there's clams, there's veal, there's anything you like, you can find it in Italy too. But also you have find great wines. And that's what Italy is famous for, the wines, the food, and the great time that you always get in Italy with those beautiful dishes and beautiful women and beautiful places like Venice and Rome. I used to play tennis in Rome. It was great. So we're going to continue with Mr. Pacheco talking about all of your great adventures here. What was your best moments here in the United States that you had here lately? You enjoyed the weather here. Now it's very cold.
Well, lately it's been a little on the chilly side. Yeah.
Yeah, very cold. It's colder than in New York.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't look at the numbers, but we have freezing temperatures lately,
Yeah.
which is unheard. It's not. We're not that used to that.
We're not used to that
here
kind
in
of
the
weather.
peninsula. Yeah, even though people say that when they're visiting that here is very cold, we're sitting on the colder side, of the peninsula, but never as cold as we have in the last few days. So
Last few days it's been freezing out here.
Yeah.
Wow. You have to have those heaters going on.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's very, very, very difficult. I mean, for me, I'm not used to that, cold weather. So, I like nice temperatures,
Yeah.
nice, the nice weather, the Acapulco weather, something like that. I wish, But anyway, tell us.
allow me to tell you something about, because you were so kind to mention the fact that Mexican food is not only tacos, which I think is a
Well, that's
is-
what
is- is
everybody
a,
thinks like that.
It's a very good point, though, and most of the Mexican food that has been making it into the mainstream U.S. is just what we call a street vendor type of food. It's the food that you find when you go out and street vendor where it has a little bit of Mexico.
Sure.
They're very traditional. I guess I found a similarity with the ones in Hong Kong and Thailand, where the people get their fry pans on the outside,
Right outside on the street.
outside, and they do everything there.
That's the most delicious things.
The
you
meals
find.
are delicious. They're not good if you're watching your diet, because
Well,
they
well,
could
yeah,
be rich
fried.
on calories, but definitely the flavor is there.
Yeah.
It's very delicious.
And it's fresh.
They're freshly made. You're right, but mainly Mexican food is a nice combination of the traditional kitchen of people of the Americas before the Spaniards came, and then the Spaniards came with their own type of cooking, and ultimately Mexican food evolved into a nice combination of the two. So you still find recipes that are very ancient. There's still people are cooking as they were about 1,000 years ago, and you find some of the kitchen from Europe, especially from the Spain area, the peninsula, and then you find the greater majority of the food, which is a combination of the two, a marriage of the two. So you have anywhere from we're still cooking in Mexico City fish like they do a bacala. I'm sure, I don't know if you're familiar with
Bacala.
Yeah, bacala. It's called Mexico bacalao, and that recipe is from Europe. Most of the peninsula cook the same way as we do in Mexico City, and it came straight from there. And then as much as we do that, there's also a recipe that is called mole. and mole is a mixture of different chilies with chocolate. Some it goes
Well,
cocoa beans on it, and some people don't know. And when you said it has cocoa beans on it, it's like, why? It says, well, that's the recipe how it used to be made thousands of years ago, and it's delicious. You put them simmer your chicken or your pork with it or in it, and it's just a delicious a meal. And that's just an example of how the Mexican food has evolved from what it was before the Spaniards, throughout the Spaniards, and nowadays. And the food, the culinary experience there is very unique. It's very rich.
Very experience.
It's
Great experience.
very, very rich.
We were talking about those mole sauces. There are different types of mole sauces, different ways to make mole sauce, and other dishes. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And the more that those Spaniards brought in their sauces and their meals and their rice and their paellas, we're going to talk a little bit more about that right after we come back from this message. Take it away. Welcome to Alberto's restaurant. Come on in. At Alberto's, you will have a new experience at great Italian dining. We have fantastic pasta dishes like fettuccine alfredo and eggplant parmesan. And you have to come in and try the chicken marsala and the calamari con limone. I take great pride in everything I prepare, and I know you will love it. And what's dinner without a little wine? At Alberto's, we have a great selection of wines to go with your dinner.
Alberto's Restaurante in Pacific Grove.
Come and see us tonight. Salud! Salud!
Do you have odors and dampness in your basement and crawl space? An unhealthy home begins with problems in damp, poorly ventilated areas. The conditions down below nurture molds, dust mites, and result in a buildup of gases and pollutants that can cause serious illnesses, like asthma, emphysema, and some cancers. The pollutants work their way up to your living quarters, infecting your entire home. Wave ventilation for moisture control and air quality can solve this problem. The unit's unique technology is designed to replace the damp, stale, polluted air with dry, fresh air and maintain a healthy, comfortable environment all year round. Unlike dehumidifiers, there's no buckets of water or filters, and it costs about $3 a month in electricity. Protect your home and family. Get to the source of the problem with Wave Ventilation. Call now. Make Wave Ventilation your answer to healthy living. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
There you go.
Hey, thank you. Once again, thank you for joining us in Alberto's La Bella Cucina in this wonderful, beautiful Christmas, almost Christmas day. We are in Christmas season. We're December. And I wish my friends in Fresno a wonderful and Merry Christmas. And we'd like to see you a little more often in Alberto's Restaurante so you can have a great meal. So remember to make your reservations now and have your parties in there. In Alberto's Restaurante, which I'll be there to greet you and reserve a wonderful little table for you. Okay? So we're talking now to my guest, Mr. Frank Pacheco, that is a restaurateur in his old days and now also is in some way in the restaurant business. But yes, we're talking about mole sauces, we're talking about chicken mole, we're talking about chilaquiles, and one of the greatest dishes in Mexico, there's just not just that, but it's other things like he finds those tapas that they sell right outside on the streets. Fascinating and wonderful and very exquisite, right?
Absolutely.
Mr. Pacheco?
Absolutely.
Like the beautiful taco there, and the great sauce, and you get your sauces, and then you get on a tamale right outside of the street, and then it's marvelous.
Oh yeah, all different kinds of foods. Actually, the food throughout Mexico has a couple of common denominators: tortillas and chilies. And mainly corn tortillas.
Right.
There's a little bit of a flour tortilla. That's another, I want to call it taboo that people think about when they think about Mexican food. They believe that Mexican food mainly goes with flour tortillas, but I'm sorry to say this, but it is not common.
Okay.
Flour tortillas are common here, but traditional Mexican food goes mainly with corn.
With corn.
It's corn.
Tortillas.
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's a little bit of people eat a little bit of flour tortillas on the northern part of the country. I guess that's probably why it came on over the border. But the greater majority of people from north to south and middle is corn. It's corn. But you were talking about street vendor kind of food, though. That's great. That's great. There's a lot of flavor on it, different fresh made salsas and ingredients all simmer into this. You get me going. My
Yeah, it's
just,
wonderful to think
so
about all those
salivated,
things.
just
Especially,
think about,
seafood in Mexico City. Those oyster cocktails and shrimp cocktails.
Yeah.
Wow, it's wonderful.
There's a little story that you might like. There was an emperor of the Aztec Empire, who happened to be right on Mexico City area. This is before the Spaniards. So the stories tell that whenever this emperor wanted to get fresh fish, he had developed a delivery system who was quite unique. So the closest coastal area is I believe on the Guerrero side, right by Acapulco, right. So whenever he wanted to get fish, he'll send the order, and there will be runners, literally people who
Relay.
run. Yeah, it was a relay runners,
Yeah.
but there were about hundreds of them.
Yeah.
So they can run really fast for a short period of time, and then send the message to the other one, and then the next one, and then so on and so forth, until from the center of the country, they will reach the coastal area, get the fish, hook it up, fish it, put them in a basket, and have it handed over to the
Fresh.
relay runner to run it, and it'll make it back in no time. This is an amazing.
Like in less than an hour. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that fast.
But I'll be relay. So imagine, they would be running.
Yeah.
Until the Emperor Moctezuma will get that. Wasn't that him?
I can't remember that. I can't quote it, but I think it was Moctezuma, the one who did it.
Yeah.
But he wanted to get fresh fish. He'll send the order, and the fish will be caught and put them on a basket and run.
That was
run
several
back
hours.
to him.
Several hours. And if they came from Acapulco to Mexico, it'd be very, very long.
Well, if you think about a human being running as fast as, maybe less though, and if you have a chain of many of them,
Right, of
which
course.
is what he
They
did.
have 200-300 of those.
Yeah, probably more people running and a chain, from one to the other, giving
And
the
handle
fish.
that basket
Yeah.
into the guy. There you go.
Yeah, so he can have fresh fish.
Wow.
So amazing, huh?
It's an amazing story, of course. I mean, those guys, like you said, they discover, the Aztecs discovered what? Chocolate. Chocolate was discovered in Mexico.
Yes,
and a lot of people
absolutely.
think they weren't. They were the Swiss. No, chocolate was discovered in Mexico City. And this is how they actually fusion the chocolate into their sauces,
Oh, yeah.
which is now chicken mole, which is
Yeah.
one of the best, sauces that I
Oh,
find.
it's incredible. It's one of my-
But there is ways that, let's say, like the Oaxacans, they have their own way of doing their mole, which is not my deal. But I mole from Puebla is one of the best.
Absolutely, I'm with you. Moles have evolved into regional sauces, as you know, and the people from Oaxaca have theirs. Their version of mole is dark, and it still has chocolate on
Very
it.
thick, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a little bit to the sour side. So it's just if you were to compare both, the one that you just mentioned, the one from Puebla, which is on the central
Isn't
part
that
of
the
the
original?
country.
The original mole, yeah, the Pueblan?
Well, I don't know which one is the original. I do know that they have different flavors. And the one, if you were to compare the one from Puebla versus the one from Oaxaca, the Puebla one is a little bit on the sweeter side, where the Oaxaca is a little bit on the bitter side. Not that it's bitter to the taste, but if you were to put them both side to side, I'll probably take the Puebla one because I like sweets. I
Well,
like
yeah,
sweets a lot,
because
so-
me too. Especially in that kind of fusion when you have the chicken and that. It just makes the chicken more flavorful and more tastier.
Oh, absolutely.
Than this one here. Again, and the Oaxacans, they have their own style of cooking.
Yes.
They do tamales with banana leaves, and the Mexicans, the Aztecs or the other kind of people, they have their, on their husk.
On the corn husk, yes.
The corn husk. So that's totally different. I enjoy both, but actually I go with the husk, with the corn.
Yeah.
I like that better. I like it. I think it's lighter, for me. And they're softer. They're like little pillows,
Yeah. Yes,
and I
they
enjoy
are.
that a lot.
Yes, they are.
I wish we had a little bit more of that here in these areas, but we don't. It's since those, but they're difficult to make. They're difficult to.
They're interesting, yeah.
To have all that in steam.
Oh, yeah.
All
yeah.
those-
Another interesting point for your viewers about tamales is that most people believe that tamales are hot,
Right.
and that's not necessarily the whole truth. Tamales, especially in Mexico City, they are made out of a green sauce, red sauce, mole sauce, and by far the most popular for the kids are the what they call dulce.
Dulce,
Dulce,
sweet.
and they're sweet tamales.
Yeah.
And when we cooked it at home, because we cook it at home sometimes for special events, people say like, "What is this as well?" That's a traditional tamale. He says, "No, it can be." He says, "No, it is a traditional. Just that you weren't aware." But they made out of strawberry, pineapple, peach. They're really really good. Really good.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. It's part of the culinary aspect of Mexico. They mix the dough with sugar and they put the fruit on it, and they came delicious. They came very
They have
delicious.
great bread too. They get
Oh, yeah.
good bread good, with sweet rolls, and again, those things come from the Spaniards. I used to try the bread, like the bread that we have here. The Spaniards developed a beautiful bread in there. What they did, they were the bakery people.
Oh,
The
yeah.
bakers in Mexico, they were there, and they always had a great imperial bread.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, for many years, the Mexico City was occupied by an Austrian emperor, and he brought in a whole bunch of people from France, and they had at that time a lot of bakeries in the main cities, and specifically Mexico City. So when this empire left the country, most bakers decided to stay, and people who they were taught in that profession also kept on the tradition of baking French style. So it's funny, but when you go to one of the major bakeries in Mexico
Yeah.
City, you find a lot of baked pastries that are just like the ones that you can find on any good French
You got the
patisserie,
Napoleons and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, you do. And people who don't know this, they're like, how come they're baking these things that are traditional European or French for that matter? And it's due to the fact that there was a long-standing traditional French bakers baking there, and people just kept it. And it's nowadays you have most of the traditional households in Mexico. They go in the afternoon and go out and buy fresh baked bread that is baked every day.
Yeah.
It's a tradition.
Yeah.
And there's, bakers there are humongous, and there's different kinds of breads, a lot of different kinds of breads. Really good though, really
Yeah,
good bread.
yeah. It's like here we're developing a great place here that we have here that I buy my bread for the restaurant, and that's very delicious, like ciabattas and other breads. And very soon the panettone, which is an Italian sweet bread.
Oh, yeah.
It's very delicious with raisins, and it's a big one, so to enjoy for Christmas. I think that Mexico City has a lot of fusion of all kinds of people.
Absolutely.
A lot of, like you mentioned, Maximilian. He was the emperor.
Yes.
And in Mexico, they had an emperor. They almost had a king too, and they have a lot of revolutions in there too.
Oh, yeah.
And this is how Mexico became so rich in history and food and all of that. So yes, they have all these mixtures of sauces, French sauces, and French cuisine
Yeah.
in Mexico City. And it's very rich on that. And they have great restaurants. Like one of my favorite restaurants in Mexico is called Sanborns. Sanborns is unbelievable. Sanborns, you can find anything you like. Whatever you like, is go to Sanborns. They have several of them in Mexico City. But we'll never have Sanborns here. I don't know why. We have. And the richest man doesn't bring us to Sanborns here.
It's funny you mentioned Sanborns because remember we were talking about this very rich gentleman who lives there. He owns that chain.
Yeah. He's very, very, very fortunate. He probably eats there every day because the food is amazing. And it's not just Mexican food. It's French food. It's German food. It's all kinds of foods. They have Swiss enchiladas, right?
Yes.
Swiss enchiladas. So it's all kinds of incredible fusion of food. So great salads and great Waldorf salads and all that. So you would find great many things in Sanborns. In Mexico City, which we have a restaurant like that here in the United States. Anyway, continuing with great foods. What is your very favorite food? Not Mexican or Italian or Chinese. What is actually, let's say, what is the number one food in the world that is more popular?
More popular. Wow, I don't know. That's a tough question. What is it that I like best? Or?
Well, the most popular food in the world is, they say it's Chinese, but I think it's Italian, Chinese, and Mexican.
I
Those are
think-
the three number one foods. I don't know if you agreed on that, but I mean, that's what they say, that Mexican food is around the three of the best foods in the world. And then number two is, I would say, Italian, obviously, and then the number three, Chinese. But you tell us, you let us know what is your most favorite foods in the world. But I enjoy the three of them.
I do too.
I think the Chinese food is incredible, and those guys they're fabulous when they cook on the woks, and everything is so al dente, so beautiful. The vegetables and their sauces, and they cook in minutes too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's funny because some of the techniques of cooking, not the wok, but mixing the veggies and the meats, how they do it is very similar to how do they do the people, how do the people cook on the inner part of the country, not necessarily Mexico City, but all that kitchen has evolved into what we have now as a Mexican cuisine, and it's very good. It's very good.
Sure.
I enjoy Chinese food and as much as I enjoy Mexican food,
Right.
actually. And Italian, of course.
Yeah.
And Italian, of course.
Italian
yeah.
food is
Yeah, I love pastas, and that's a problem for me because I'm a heavy eater, and when I have a nice plate of fresh, well-prepared pasta, I just go through it, and that's for seconds. I love pasta. Yeah.
Pasta, I can't go without it every day. I love my little pasta al olio with oil and garlic, a little parsley. And we're going to continue talking a lot more and more about great dishes, great fused dishes like Italian dishes, Chinese dishes, and Spanish dishes right after this message. Hello, welcome to Alberto's restaurant. Come on in. At Alberto's, you will have a new experience at great Italian dining. We have fantastic pasta dishes like fettuccine alfredo and eggplant parmesan, and you have to come in and try the chicken marsala and the calamari con limone. I take great pride in everything I prepare, and I know you will love it. And what's dinner without a little wine? At Alberto's, we have a great selection of wines to go with your dinner.
Alberto's Restaurante in Pacific Grove.
Come and see us tonight. Salud.
Anthony Sullivan here for the Edge of Glory, the best knife sharpener money can buy. It's so precise, it'll turn this plastic credit card into a precision cutting instrument. The Edge of Glory is no ordinary knife sharpener. Its jewel-hardened teeth hone any blade to a razor's edge that'll put the bite back into your dullest knife. It locks onto any smooth surface, then just draw the knife and that old knife is ready for more. We took this plastic credit card and tried to cut a tomato. Nothing happens, but 1, 2, 3, 4, and now it's got an Edge of Glory that slices like magic. Call now and get the Edge of Glory for just $10.99. You'll also get a complete 3-piece knife set. They're a $20 value, yours free. But order now and you can double this entire offer. You get 2 Edge of Glories and 2 knife sets for $10.99. Order now and find out about free shipping.
Call 1-800-617-9159 and get your Edge of Glory. But hurry, we're giving away a special offer on a second Edge of Glory and the knives with today's orders. That's 1-800-617-9159. Call now.
Hello there. Thank you for coming back to Alberto's La Bella Cucina. We're having a great interest talking, great show talking about great foods. Italian foods, Chinese foods, and French foods, of course. And we're here with Mr. Frank Pacheco. Gucci used to be a restaurateur, and now he's also, and he has some interest now in restaurants too. So he goes to the best restaurants, of course. One of them is Alberto's. So he enjoys there the best pastas there is, since he has a great taste for pasta con albongole with clams. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about these experiences and one of his best dishes he ever tried at any of the restaurants that you have traveled in the world. What is your best dish? Chinese or Italian or that? What is it? Your most favorite one?
Well, I
Besides the mole.
besides the mole, that's a tough one. On the Chinese food, I like the kung pao version of
Kung pao.
when they do the chicken or the fish or the shrimp. I like those. A little bit of spicy, for
Yeah, I
me.
love the spicy.
So spicing the food is good.
Yeah,
It gets your taste buds to be active
exactly.
and to try different things. So you don't have to. Another thing that people believe that when you have a spicy food that you have to kill it. And of course, you can do as much as you like, but for me, I believe I'm a firm believer that if you add up just a bit, so you can taste the spice, but not killing your. You don't want to be red hot and sweaty, because of the spice. But you can just add a bit and enjoy. It really does add up to the flavor and enhances the flavor of the food.
Well, sometimes, Well, sometimes it's appropriate to, you have a cream sauce and then you put Tabasco in it. Doesn't balance. But sometimes when it's a little tomato and you can add some red chili peppers, to make it, a little more, arrabbiata. But I mean, I like, arrabbiata style. I like it a little bit hot. I enjoy that. Although, a lot of people lose their taste buds when they have a lot of very, very hot food.
Yeah.
But I like a little pasta alla arrabbiata, nice angel hair arrabbiata or pomodoro or any chicken alla cacciatore, a little hot, which is very soon I'll have a party with making chicken alla cacciatore for a Christmas party. So here we go. People like that. They like the fish al diavolo, fish al diavolo sauce, which is hot, with fresh clams and fresh mussels.
Oh, really?
Baked.
I haven't tried that. You have to.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of specials at Alberto's that people actually don't know. They must visit Alberto's, so can enjoy a great experience like that. So what are you going to be now? Your plans for now it's a new year coming up, and hopefully it will be a better year for you and all of us,
Yeah. We're looking actually to open a place, entertainment center for kids right here by Costco and San City area. So we're very busy trying to get that thing up and going. So
entertainment center, is this your venture?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. See, the thing is for me, like I said, I have 3 kids, 11, 6, and 4. So I was looking for a business that is suitable for all ages, when my kids can freely be there without any problems.
You're actually thinking of something that you get rid of your kids so they can have fun in there. They'll have fun and enjoy themselves, and you won't have no problem. There will be people there to take care of them.
Yeah, well, actually, no, this place will be a place where we're going to have bouncy houses and trampolines, along with a space for them to interact with maybe Zumba or activities. So it's geared for the children and families mainly.
So is it going to be a fee in there to get in there? Of course.
Yeah, there would be a small fee. To get into it, but it's a lot of fun. The business has been around for a long time. We just acquired and then remodeling everything and making it a little more modern, and getting things going so people can have a great experience there. So I think it's going to be a great thing for the community.
So when do you think this thing would open up?
The first week. Thank you for asking. The first week of January, we're gonna be hopefully opening the doors again. It's a nice location right by Costco here. In
What's it gonna be called?
Jumping Around.
Now you hear that first time here at Alberto's La Bella Cuccina. Jumping Around, and be opening very soon with entertainment for your kids, your little ones. So you can call. You have a number you call. Jumping Around. What's the number?
It's area code 831-383-1200.
Okay, so remember that. That'll be a new place for your kids to go and enjoy themselves and have a great time at Jumping Around.
Especially if they're visiting from out of the area. It's a great place to stop by, because on the peninsula we didn't have that many options for children entertainment. So that's why we created this place to have in mind the families, and if you travel with kids, after a couple hours of traveling, you really wanted to have your little ones to enjoy themselves, jump. That's what this place is good for,
You heard it right here. So remember that, right here near Costco, right?
Yep.
Jumping Around. What's the address?
It's going to be 880 Tioga Avenue.
There you go.
880 Tioga, right across the street.
So
from,
it'll be what? Opening soon when?
We're looking into opening on the first week, hopefully by January the 10th.
Okay, so next year. So think about that. And
it's only about 3 weeks away, right?
3 weeks away.
Hopefully, yeah.
An opening. There's this new place, Jumping Around. In the meantime, don't forget to make reservations. We're almost Christmas time. We have plenty of tables at Alberto's Ristorante, so you can enjoy your great meal, enjoy a great party, enjoy a great office party. So give us a call. And Alberto's is located at 1219 Forest Avenue in the great city of Pacific Grove, where you can enjoy your very best. So please keep asking for the specials at Alberto's, 831-373-3993. And remember, we have the incredible meal for you on December 19. Chef Doug Alstrom is going to entertain you with wonderful, incredible, great food at Alberto's Restaurante. So don't forget to make your reservations for a party of 5, 10, 2, 1. You'll be welcome. So remember, area code 831-373-3993. Make your reservation now for Chef Doug Alstrom's great special dinner at Alberto's. So we are continuing with our conversation with Mr. Frank Pacheco right now, and he's telling us all about the great things that he has experienced in this wonderful city of Mexico, especially food, which is our theme always here, that we enjoy talking about, which is great Mexican food and Italian food, of course, and whatever. And let's talk about French food. What do you like? Do you enjoy French food?
Oh gosh, I'm a sucker for sweets. So the best thing about French food is the desserts. I think.
Oh, you like desserts?
I'm a classic guy, so creme brulee for me does it. So,
the creme brulee is your
I always
favorite.
enjoy a nice French meal, but if I can have my creme brulee and if it's it's right, I just love it.
So you like just desserts? You don't like any other?
I enjoy different meals, but for me, I always look for creme brulee. I just really enjoy the French desserts. So,
did you ever notice that many let's say that, for example, in Chinese food they have like little crepes stuffed with pork and all that, and then the French have the crepes. They all the similarity in foods, and they all have the same shape. Like Mexicans have the enchiladas, and wrapped.
Yeah.
And they're wrapped with chicken or with beef. The Chinese have it wrapped with vegetables and other things and chicken. And so is the French too. They have it with seafood and all that, with different sauces.
Yeah.
And this is a similarity in the foods that they've been there for many, many centuries. And they do, it's very similar, all of those things. People actually don't observe and see those things, but I do. I see things that they have, all of them looked at, but the different flavor and different texture and different, all kinds of good things. And different, you can have it with different wonderful wines.
Absolutely.
Like one of my great Chianti, a great Pinot Grigio, They have. I love Pinot Grigio with Mexican food. Why not, When they have nice, delicious, chicken mole, and they have that, maybe a Pinot Noir with that, with a great chicken mole, it will be a wonderful taste to do, and then after that, no tequila for me.
No tequila.
No, that's not. I don't enjoy that. No tequila. It's a little too heavy for me. I like other things, but tequila, no, or rums or anything like that. I usually stay away from the hard liquor. I enjoy the other type of liquor. Nice wine, nice Chianti, a nice dessert, wine dessert, and all of that. To enjoy a great meal, especially Christmas, I'll enjoy the beautiful Vino Santo, which I tried with a friend of mine. We went all over Rome, we went all over Venice to try Vino Santo. Vino Santo, we tried one of the very best, which I thought it was. We went to Verasavano to try Vino Santo. Vino Santo for me is one of the best wine desserts, and for us that we enjoy great wines. I enjoy the House of Apolcella. I enjoy the Amaretto wines, which is a red wine. And almost we're coming to an end to our show. And I wish you if I don't see you, a very good Christmas. And I wish you the very best. And God bless you from Alberto's La Bella Cuccina. Thank you. God bless you.